Game Clique.
So we normally only talk about 2 games in the beginning of the show, but I think we got some extra time, and I have been playing a couple. I've been jumping all around the place, but I do want to bring up one other game, super interesting, that I've been getting into. Tales of Another Crab Zao.
I know you're being funny, but what the hell is that? What is another crab?
Another Crab's Treasure.
Another crab's treasure.
Yeah,
What is that?
It's really good. It's a Souls-like.
First of all, as a Cancer, I'm already like just tensing up because I'm, that's my symbol. I'm a crab. And what you mean another crab's treasure? Consent? Yeah, I want my shell. I want just.
It's a play on one person's trash is another person's treasure.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, story-wise, it's first of all, this story is super interesting.
Fuck that. What genre is it first?
It's a Souls-like.
God.
But, all right, but I'm telling you, so you've never played a Souls-like this. So this is, you know how Souls-like, specifically ones made from Software, how they very much lean into gothic, dark.
Yeah.
Everything's dark and depressing, and you're fighting monsters with multiple heads and multiple vaginas, and like, you know what I'm talking about, like
Cthulhu.
This is super cute, super fluffy, super cartoony, bright, funny. And
how's it funny if it's a Souls-like?
It's such a good change of pace.
I'm stressed out already.
That's the cool thing. Like
what's the version of a bonfire?
It's such a good change of pace in that subgenre of games. So you're playing as a crab. I forgot the name. I think his name is Krill or something like that.
God.
And
can you rename your crab?
Krill? No, you can't. You're stuck.
Damn it! I wanted to be Mr. Krabs. I wanted to, even though he was a lobster. But anyway,
Mr. Crab is a crab. Larry is a lobster. Come on.
He's a fat ass lobster crab. I'm sorry.
But so you play as this crab Krill, and you mind your business. You're specifically a hermit crab, and you know how hermit crabs they don't
the ugly ones.
Well, they're not. I don't think of any type of crab and like that's a cute crab. I've never thought.
I had a friend who had the hermit crabs. It was fun to take care of them.
But so you
have you seen them without their shell though? It is is a thing.
Yeah, that's the point. We like hermit crabs. They have to like go from shell to shell, and they kind of like find anything and use that as a shell. So
literally looks like the Thing from Addams Family.
This hermit crab has this really nice shell, and this shark comes up, and it's not a real shark. It's those like toy like shark heads on a stick where you pull the trigger, and you might not because you're not like from that generation maybe, but like it's you've seen what I'm talking.
I'm imagining things. It's on a stick.
Okay.
You said
yes, it's a hit.
All right,
whatever. So the shark comes up, and he's basically like, all right, I work for the queen, and she's decided that this land that you're living on is now hers. You got to pay like 5 years of back taxes, or I got to repossess your shell. So he takes your shell, and the whole story is about you trying to find this dude and get your shell back, which is the cool thing because there's a lot of playing around with different tones in this game. Because one, aesthetic, super cute and cartoony, but also, you have this very serious commentary on not only like
bad government,
overreaching government, pollution, on like depression. It's a lot of really good commentary, a lot of serious subjects, and all of that serious commentary never takes away from the levity of the tone of the game. So it's such a good balance. Like even with all that seriousness, it's never not funny.
How did you find this?
It's in Game Pass, right? But this was one of these games that was on my radar. Steam has something called Steam Fest every year where they just drop a bunch of demos to upcoming games that are coming to Steam. And one of those games was Another Crab's Treasure. And I played that demo, I think it was like July of last year. And at the time that I played it, it felt a little rough to me. Like the platforming was a little loose. The timing of like blocking and parrying didn't feel as good as like a From Software Souls-like game. So I was kind of like, I'm still interested because it looks cool. And
Would you consider this a third person Souls like, or is this a 2D
it's 3D.
Souls like?
It's
It's a
3D.
3D Souls like. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's literally just imagine a traditional Souls-like game, but just reskin it with a SpongeBob aesthetic. Like,
Okay.
literally.
Right.
So to get into the
I
combat,
was imagining like one of your top down like Souls like games at first. All right.
this is literally like Elden Ring under the sea. Well, not
Under the sea.
I guess not literally Elden Ring because it's more so, I guess, a Dark Souls or a Demon Souls because it's a little more.
It's not open world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big world, but you can't go wherever you want. You're following a path. But the combat's really good, and I know it's the one important thing you want to talk about in a Souls-like. So.
Yeah, what is he fighting with? Like, is it his pincers? Like, what are we?
It's a fork. So that's the whole. Again, that's one of the themes of the game is you're living in this open ocean and it's clearly being polluted. Like you're walking around, there's soda bottles, there's freaking Spam cans and bottle caps and stuff all over the place. But you can use that stuff as not only weapons but as your armor. So you're constantly picking up different pieces of trash and using that as kind of like your shield.
Did he choke himself out with like the recycled soda can?
I've not ran into the soda can rings yet. But,
Okay.
But that's a
Plastic straws.
That's a dope mechanic of the game too. So each different piece of trash armor has a different kind of like stat sheet. So, like, if you pick up a coconut shell, the health of that armor is way, way, way bigger than, like, if you pick up a shot glass and put that on your back. But each piece of armor has a special move that's unique to that piece of armor. So, like,
Mountain Dew.
if you there's a dirty, like, used tennis ball that if you use that as a shell, its special move is, like, you can get up in it and, like, do, like, a sonic spin dash attack. Or if you pick up a banana peel and you start losing health, you can eat the banana peel off your back and it refills your health.
Yeah,
Crab, man, he eat whatever he want, man. He eat what he.
I mean, he is a scavenger.
Hey, man,
that is a thing.
Fine.
I mean, we say up crabs here in Baltimore. Shout out to us, but
and I eat those, so
I do.
So. Yeah, so like you got this shell mechanic that's really dope. So the fork mechanic, this part doesn't unlock until you're maybe like 7-ish hours into the game, but you can start attaching trash to the fork and it changes the attack pattern of your main weapon. So there's a lot of like strategy and a lot of like customization when it comes to like surprisingly.
So who are your enemies, your general enemies?
There are other sea creatures, like there's crabs, there's like sardines, I'm assuming. There's like little small fish. And the bosses are normally like either big-ass crabs or big-ass lobsters. And the boss fights are intense. Like they match the intensity of like a Souls-like arena fight. But...
disrupting the whole ecosystem down there. Just, did they mention which oceans we in? Are we in like the Pacific Ocean?
I tried to guess that.
We in the harbor.
I thought I could guess that based on like accents. So I was trying to listen to like maybe like if it's an Australian accent, I can kind of guess where I'm at.
We in the Chesapeake Bay. Just
I didn't hear anybody saying two. So I don't know where you're at specifically. But another thing I do want to touch on that's super unique is the customization of the difficulty. So by default, if you don't touch anything, you don't touch any sliders, it plays basically just like a traditional Souls-like. It's super hard. I think the difficulty ramps up at a pretty consistent and easy tick. Not easy, but pretty consistent tick. Boss fights, the way they handle it is cool because it doesn't make you start over at the bonfire, or it's not bonfires here. They're called moon snail shells.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't start at a bonfire. So if you at a boss fight and you die, you can start literally right outside that door to the boss fight.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy mode. It's not Souls like.
No,
you just ruined it.
But
Everybody that likes Souls like.
that is the only thing in default that I was like, okay, but I mean, like, people who like Souls like, I think that's the one thing we all agree we do not like. That trek from a bonfire.
Oh, I thought that was
that thing sucks.
That's what y'all liked and cared about.
Nobody
Yeah.
likes, like, we want to just fight that boss again. Nobody wants to, like, especially depending on how far away the bonfire is.
Mm-hmm.
That's ass. So
I mean, I'm aware. I mean, I played through them. I always look for the closest one possible. And
but yeah,
thankfully, in a few of the ones, they normally have shortcuts. But
yeah, the shortcut system here, it's really dope, and it's pretty generous here too. So the customizations to difficulty, that's what I wanted to dig into. So I have not turned any of these switches on personally because I like my Souls likes to be difficult, right? That's why you're playing it.
Sure.
That's why I play it, right?
Sure.
But I peeked into the options just to see,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some dope things you could turn on to, like, really make this game way more accessible. Like, there's an option where you can literally, instead of having a shell on your back, you just got a Glock on your back, and it makes it so you can one-shot anything, even a boss.
Oh, if you just want to see the story.
Like, yeah, if
okay.
you want to kind of like go through the game and you don't want the challenge, and you could turn it off.
Taking the environmental structure and everything. Noted. All right, cool.
And you can, like, turn up your how much damage you deal, and you can turn down how much damage the enemies deal. So it's a lot of customization in there, so you can really find the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make it clear, I'm not doing that. So if you see me
playing it on Discord, you see us Discord it.
The joint, I'm playing it the way God intended.
I mean, he added the one shot feature. That's it. That's for you to play.
So this is.
But no, the reason why I was tripping,
Mm-hmm.
I saw a picture this week. I gotta probably send it to you because we cool for the chat to see. They had the Gloctopus. Have you heard of that? You seen that?
What?
The Gloctopus. It is amazing. I'm not going to describe it. You just gotta put it up for the people.
Is it a real like octopus with Glocks on it?
You gotta see.
Oh my God.
This is dope. All right. But no, that's why I was tripping when you mentioned the Glock.
But yeah, this is another game. All the games we talked about today are like games that are first for these studios. So this is another first for this studio called Aggro Crab. So I don't know if they have any plans.
Fitting
I don't
name.
know if they have any plans outside of Another Crab's Treasure, or if all their games are going to be crab themed, or if I don't know. But I think I picked up Another Crab's Treasure thinking that it's just going to be a quirky indie game. I didn't think it was going to be like ranked high-ish on my list of like favorite Souls-like games, but I really do think if I haven't put too much thought into this yet, so don't hold me to this, but I think if I had to make a top 10,
you want to do all this praise without the responsibility
now. If I had to make a top 10 list now without any like real thought, I think I would put Another Crab's Treasure in that top 10 of top 10 Souls-likes that I've ever played. It's good, man. Feels good. It looks good.
That's what we're here for. We're here to celebrate the games that, don't get the push that they should. And
well, it sold
they're here.
100,000 copies last time I checked. They put it on Twitter.
My community ain't never heard of this game. I want to be real clear.
Well, you need to like get in there. It's the second game that like You didn't hear about Balatro, and they sold 1 million copies. You didn't hear about Aggro Crab, and they sold.
And I'm not alone. I'm not alone. That's the thing that is important. I'm not alone in not hearing about it.
And I haven't really got any clarification on it, but I thought it was interesting that Aggro Crab specifically said 100,000 copies sold. So I'm assuming that doesn't include people who are playing through Game Pass.
Maybe.
Because you're not buying it, right? So I don't know.
I mean, they could be including just as far as like the idea of, because some companies, when I say they do this, not saying this, but some companies do like an aggregate like idea of like based off of it being on one of these streaming sites that it equals this amount of sales. So that, but
I don't know. Still an impressive number for a game from a team that size. Play that thing. I think it's on everything. It's on Switch, it's on Xbox, and it's on PC. I'm not sure if it's on PlayStation.
Have you played it on Switch? Is it the same game?
I mean, so it's it's not graphically.
It's a top down on Switch. It's a 2D.
The Switch has some indie games, all right, to play. This is not really a super graphic intensive game. This game does. I couldn't imagine playing this game on something that couldn't do a high frame rate.
Yeah, that's typical for any Souls.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I haven't played it on Switch. I'm playing it on Xbox. I played the demo on Steam. Both of those ran very well. So maybe
there's a demo on Steam. Why is there no demo on console? I want to see. Check it out.
I don't know. Talk to Aggro Crab. But yeah, man. Another crab's treasure.